How we doing, guys? Great to see you. Let me pop this up here. There we go. So I'm doing something a little different this week, obviously, because I'm live and it's Friday, and I didn't go live last Sunday. I'm thinking about moving the days that I go live. Thinking about getting it off of the weekend, off of Sunday, and the reason why is because when I work Monday through Friday, the only time I really have to get anything done on a regular basis is if I have the whole weekend free to do it. And well, it's not an inconvenience, that much of an inconvenience really to go live for an hour in the afternoon. I just have to have everything wrapped up before I can. So I'm thinking Fridays. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I'll do this thing the way I usually do. I like to say hello to everybody in the live chat over here. Chime in with what day you think would be best, and maybe we'll just take an informal poll here and find out. And then leave a comment, leave a question if you got one. If it looks like I missed it, leave it again in all caps. If I've already read it by the time I get to it, then I'll just go ahead and skip over it. It's not a big deal. I just want to make sure I answer anybody's questions. Hopefully the audio and the video are good. Um, Nobody's really said anything in the side chat, so I got to assume that everything's working. Let me get the banner up. Sunrise was at 8:26 a.m. this morning and sunsets at 8:02 p.m. for a total of 11 hours and 36 minutes of daylight. We've gained a little more than an hour of daylight in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. The low temperature in Funny River today was 23 below zero, and our high is 21 above. Big temperature swings in the spring and in the summer, but this is an insane cold winter for Alaska. And it's how cold is it? How crazy cold is it? It's Fairbanks just set a record for, well, it's in third place right now for the third most days below 40 below zero um, in recorded history for Fairbanks. So it's just nuts. It won't stop. Every morning we're 20 something below zero, and every day we get back up to 20 degrees. So 23 below plus the 21 would be 44 degree swing, temperature swing in one day. So that's like you get up and it's 45, right? And that afternoon it's 90. So it's absolutely nuts, absolutely crazy. Um, what else? Yeah. So today 23 below zero. Just I don't know. I'm so ready for spring. Everybody down here is like, when can this end? It's absolutely crazy. But like right now in the cabin, it's 71 degrees because I come home and I get the wood stove going. And on a more personal and happy note, I'm on vacation for the next week. So I don't have to go to work. I don't have to set an alarm until a week from Monday. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm just staying home. I'm working on some projects here at the cabin. I'm going to relax and enjoy myself. St. Patrick's Day is on what, Tuesday? Today is the 13th. 14th is Saturday, 15th is Sunday, 6th. Yep, St. Patrick's Day is on Tuesday. I'm going to be loading up with my Irish festivities, Irish music. I'm going to be cooking up a corned beef and cabbage. I'll probably make a batch of scones this week. I'll make some Irish soda bread also to go with the dinner. But yeah, I'm having a great friggin' week right now. It's starting out incredibly well. No, Charles. Charles says green beer. I don't do green beer, man. I do stouts. I do stouts. I do other beers, but I do stouts for St. Patrick's Day, definitely. Anyway, jump back up to the top here. Charles and Annalyn, welcome. Glad to see you guys from the Philippines. Awesome to have you here today. I did not, normally I announce this on my personal Facebook page, and I announced this on the Sean in Alaska Facebook page. The Sean in Alaska Facebook page link is down below this and all the videos that I have on the channel. But I didn't announce anything. I just said, you know what? I'm going to go live today. Said OJ, how are you doing? It is awesome to see you. If anybody's wondering, I'll probably explain it to you again and again why I'm live today. Just feel free to ask. Charles says he's watching my video while waiting for the live to start. Nice, nice. Karen, welcome. Glad you could make it today. It is awesome to see you. Linda at Lipstick Lodge. Hey, everybody, snowing for 12 hours here, then snowing again tomorrow and Sunday. I love snow, but, right? I mean, this is crazy. This winter just won't end. Jay and Jen, every time I turn around and watch one of their videos, they're outside just freezing because they're troopers, man. They're out there working and doing stuff still. I get to a limit where I'm like, I'm not going out there. If I can't find something to do inside, I'm not doing anything. Well, Mountain Rose, welcome. Glad you could make it today. It is awesome to see you. I hope your weekend is fantastic, as I hope everybody's weekend is fantastic. The other thing too is if I go live on Fridays, right? My video has already been out. I can answer some questions right now about anything you may have on the video that released today. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Renee, welcome. Awesome to see you. I know, right? I just I was sitting here today and I've been thinking about doing this, switching the date of the lives for a while now, and just because, like I said, you get rolling on a project and you don't want to stop, but then I have to wrap everything up because I have to go live, and then when I'm done going live, this is Sundays. Um, I have to get dinner going and everything else because I got to get to bed and I got to go to work on Monday regularly. But I got to thinking about it. Is I get off of work on Friday and I get home and I'm really not doing anything project wise until tomorrow. On my normal week work or work week. So why not just go live on Friday? We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Jolie, yes, it is Friday the 13th. Anybody who has a fear of Friday the 13th suffers from trichodecaphobia, I think is what it's called. I don't know. I think that's what it's called. Somebody tried to explain it to me at work, and she goes, "Yeah, that's sickle cell." I go, "No, it's not that." Trichodecaphobia, I think, is what it is. The fear of Friday the 13th. Thank you, Julie. Much appreciated. Yeah, vacation. Nice, nice, nice. Linda says, I'm going to start monitoring sunrise and sunsets. I need some weather encouragement for spring to come. I know, right? So even though we've been brutally, brutally cold for weeks on end now, and it just every night and morning, and then the sun comes up, we get warm. I mean, by the time I get home from work, it's already 14 degrees Fahrenheit outside, which is just absolutely mind blowing to me. Because I was home today at noon, or just after 12. But the days are getting so long. I'm making so much power. I'm at 100% every single day in the cabin. No matter what I do, no matter what, I have every single battery thing that I have that I own completely charged up. And now I'm like, what else can I plug in? So I mean, we've got great sunshine, and the reason why we're not at 40 below, or in the case of up north in some of those places 50 and 60 below zero, is because there's so much sunshine now. It can't stay cold that long. It's cold at night when it gets dark, but when that sun comes up, that temperature starts rising right away. Just crazy, crazy. I will. In this week's video, for those that didn't see it, on the tail end of this week's video, I wanted to make an apple pie because I've been jonesing for apple pie, and I shoot myself because I didn't have any sharp cheddar cheese for my apple pie, which made me angry because I really love, especially on a nice piece of still warm from the oven apple pie, thinly sliced cheddar cheese. Oh, that combination is just incredible. So instead of making the apple pie, because I would just eat or waste half the pie, I would either eat the whole pie and make myself sick, or I would waste half the pie. I made little pies, like little popovers, basically. But I did a scratch pie dough, and then I did a scratch pie filling and baked those off, and they were absolutely delicious. I ate one, that first one in the video, when it was still warm. I had another one. I had another one later on that afternoon, and then I had a third one with dinner, and the fourth one was gone the next night. I'm like, man, I just ate way too much pie. Nice, thanks, Linda. I appreciate that. Oh, Friday's your day off. Very nice. Yeah, I had to go to work today. I mean, I don't know. Friday the 13th is it was crazy to have two of them in a month, right? So in February we had Friday the 13th, and then today we have Friday the 13th in March, which I don't recall that happening very often, where we have them in back-to-back months. Terry Doyle, what's happening, my friend? Great to see you. Sean and Miss Molly, my boss said get back to work. No, not really. See you later. Nice, nice. Deanna Chester, how are you? Sean and Molly from Oklahoma, how are you doing? Molly's over here right now, walking around, getting herself in trouble. Come on up here. Come say hi. Come on. Come say hi. Come say hi to everybody. Say hi, Molly. Kisses. Thank you. It's a good girl. It's a good girl. It's a good puppy. She can't figure out what I'm doing today either. She's all, wait, you don't usually do that sit down in front of the computer thing for like, a while. Oh, Sandollar, thank you very much for that. Yeah, if you hit the thumbs up, it tells other people that might be just cruising YouTube looking for something to watch that people like what's going on here on the live. And I greatly appreciate any of the thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't care. Any interaction is good interaction as far as I'm concerned. Hey, what's happening? How's it going, Rob? Great to see you, my friend. So, and I'll say it again because we've got quite a few more people in here now. I've been toying with the idea of moving my lives from Sunday to Friday because when I get rolling on a project, um, and I have to go live on Sunday, not have to, and I want to go live on Sunday, I kind of have to cut off wherever I'm at in the project, whether I finish it or not, to wrap everything up because from the time I go live until the time I go to bed, because I work on Monday morning, is a very short window. I go to bed usually at 7 p.m. So if I'm live from 3 to 4, then I got dinner to cook from 4 to 5, eat dinner, get it digested. I'm back in bed by 7 p.m. because I get up at 2:30 in the morning to go to work. And so I've been toying with the idea of moving it to Friday because I'm off for the next 2 days. I really don't have any projects going on Fridays when I get home. If anything, I'm just stopping and picking lumber up. And I can hang out with you guys, and it doesn't matter what time I go to bed at night because I don't work tomorrow. On a bonus note, for those that didn't know, I don't work next week. I'm on vacation for a week. So, yeah, I just got a bunch of stuff going on at the house. Bunch of stuff at the cabin. So that's the answer to that one. And if you guys aren't watching Curmudgeon, you got to watch Curmudgeon too. Rob and Sarah have a great, great channel. I love watching that. I just the stuff that they have to deal with is so different than any of the other Alaska channels that I generally watch because he can't just get in the car and drive to the store. He has to wait for the train, and they have to take the snow machine or the four-wheelers down. He just got a generator delivered on a special delivery on the rail where they had to bring it up and then offload it from there onto his basic sled kind of deal where he drug it up to, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to watch. The nicest a-hole you'll ever meet. What's happening, my friend? Great to see you today. Oh, I keep clicking everywhere here. Port Dover usually has big bike rallies on Friday the 13th. There may be some diehard bikers here today. Nice, nice, nice. It's been cold. It's been chilly. Rob, what about you? What are your temperatures been like up there? I know you guys get kind of an inversion because you're up a little bit higher, but man, it's been nuts down here. I swear every day for the last week, last 2 weeks, it's been 20 below zero or colder when I go to work in the morning. She is a cutie. She's an absolute cutie. Joanna Tucker, welcome to Alabama. Awesome to have you here today. I hope you have yourself a wonderful weekend. I hope your week was good as well. I like the idea, and if I go at 3, anybody else who goes on Friday live, like Russell, if he ever makes it back to his cabin, I won't be stepping on his toes, right? I'll just go straight from my live to his live. Urban Carlson, welcome. Hello from Sweden. Very high wind there. Oh, be careful. Be very safe. I can deal with a lot of stuff. Bitter cold temperatures, lots of snow and everything else. But man, when that wind comes up, it gets visibility gets messed up, trees start falling over, damage starts happening to buildings. Yeah, I'm not a fan of heavy, heavy winds. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Rob says this morning it was -7 at his place. He's currently sitting at 20. So our high temperatures are pretty close. But it's the low temperatures where I'm getting brutal low temperatures here. Oh, and you had -14 the other day. Other than that, you've been warm. I'm thinking to myself, man, when is this stuff? I took vacation next week because generally speaking, middle of March is when everything's starting to thaw out, and I could get some stuff done outside. I can get some cleanup done. I can get some burn piles going, and I can still do that in the ice and snow. But at this point now, I'm like, man, I'm gonna get my potatoes in the ground. When am I gonna get my garden stuff going? Melinda, welcome. Glad you can make it today. Hello from Connecticut. Hello from Funny River, Alaska. It is awesome to have you here. I saw that, right? Within the 2 weeks, we'll be hitting the mid 30s. Week after that, 40s, and that's when it all happens. But we got a lot. I still have a ton of snow on the ground. Normally, we'll get a gradual melt, but we're not. If it warms up too fast, it's going to be a mess, man. It's going to be slick. It's going to be slushy. I'm going to probably pick up a pump so that I can. I always have an issue with standing water under the cabin, just because I built it to slope back, and it does slope back, but I didn't plan for a way for the water to get out. So I'll probably pick up a 12-volt, either a sump pump or just a small pump that I can go down there every day and just pump it out. And then I think this summer I'll dig a small hole back there, gravel it all out, and put a sump pump in, or drop it in there like before winter hits. And then when spring comes, I can just, flip a switch and have it automatically pump out. Aaron Rice, welcome. It is awesome to see you today. Friday night with Sean, right? Alive in the weekly video. Very cool. Yeah, like I said, I just thought this day really works much better for me. And if it works better for you guys, that'll be super awesome. Yeah, I've thought about that. When I was living in the trailer, brother Will told me, and he's on vacation right now. He's down in Arizona with his wife, just dying from the heat. But he told me when I was living in the trailer, if it gets to a certain temperature, dude, you either come over to my house or I'm going to come get you to come over to my house. But we didn't get. I don't think the 2 or 3 winters that I was in the trailer on this property, we got in the minus 20s. I don't recall us ever getting as cold as we got, and for as long. That's the big deal. Scott. I heard we're skipping summer this year. Let me see if I can find it. Oh man, if I can find it, that would be awesome. It's on my phone. Let's see if I can pull it up. I shared this on Facebook. I saw the post and I go, oh man, I gotta do that. If you can see that. It says spring forward. How freaking far did you move it? We better not be skipping summer. We better have a great summer because of this. I probably have, Rob, I mean, there might be close to 3 feet in areas. But 2.5 feet would be, I mean, I have at least, even after the snowblower, I have at least a foot of snow and ice on the driveway right now. So yeah, I've got at least 2 feet, but in some areas 3. Nice. Rub it in, rub it in. I don't know. Mid-80s would be too much for me. Mid-70s would be perfect. Tornado hit supermassive solar farm in Wheatfield, Indiana. Government buying farmland for green energy that will end up poison. It's terrible. That is terrible, man. That is terrible. Rob yelling at Scott. Yeah, the weather's been crazy. The weather's been crazy back east as far as I want to say the northeast, not the far northeast, but the central northern states, Michigan and stuff like that has been, and Wisconsin. And I mean, I just saw my buddy Scotty from Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. Him and I are friends on Facebook. We've been friends, high school friends, knew each other from town, from where we grew up. And he was posting that they've got like 2 feet, 3 feet of snow in the forecast for them. So I don't know, Jay and Jen with all the snow, then all the cold, then all the ice and frost. Yet my kids live in California and had almost no winter this year. I mean, it was almost, it's like going to be, in the 70s, in the 80s in the Bay Area, in the 70s and the 80s in the foothills. I don't know. It's one thing about weather, right? Everybody wants to talk about it, but nobody can do anything to do it, to change it. The pump's a great idea. I have 3 inches of ice in my entire driveway. I want to pump that somewhere. And that's my thought, right? Until I want to might be renting a mini excavator this year just because I want to do some site work. And I've never driven a mini X, and I think that would be cool. But I would like to put a path/drain coming off the back corner of the property that goes over to the solar panels in the field, so that it's an easier walk back and forth and the ground drops off over on the side. So that would be nice if it could just drain out on its own. But until then, I want to make sure I've got some way to clear it out so I just don't have that stagnating water under the cabin. Last year, I left a couple of pieces of plywood underneath there. And last year, I thought, I wonder how deep that is. And I went back and I looked, and the plywood was floating. And I'm all, oh, it's deeper than I thought it was. You like the moose? I'll post that. I'll post that on the community tab when we're done here today. Matter of fact, I might be able to do it right now. Hang on. I keep forgetting that I'm on Starlink, and so my phone isn't running this live, so this won't mess anything up. So I think I can go here. And I go to my community. I'm going to post this on the community tab right now so you guys can see it. Go to post tab. We'll do this. Where's that picture at? There he is. And it's posted. I just posted that on the security or on the community tab on Sean in Alaska's YouTube channel. So if you want that picture, you can just go take it, capture it off of there. That's in the 70s in the Philippines, everyone's wearing a coat. So when I moved from Fairbanks, Alaska to Houston, Texas, I took a promotion with the company, and I was going down there to run a bunch of bakeries and convert a bunch of bakeries over from their work methods to my company's work methods. And it was a great experience. It was a ton of fun. But when I left Fairbanks and went to Houston, the temperatures in Fairbanks were like 35 below zero, 40 below zero. So a couple of the guys said, "Hey, you want to go fishing with us? We're going to go bass fishing." I said, "Sure." So I met them. We all showed up, and I'm wearing short pants and a light shirt, and I got like tennis shoes on with like short socks, right? And they're dressed in parkas because it was only like 60, and they're like freezing to death. But yeah, it's crazy what you get used to. Joel, Murray, Kentucky, getting cold there too, huh? I don't think winter's done yet. I don't think it's done for anybody yet. I know, Rob. The skid steer was a ton of fun and easy to learn. But I ran into a guy at the store that used to work at my store, and he's been following the YouTube channel forever. And so he's kind of doing his whole thing. Got his property. He rented a mini excavator and cut his. He said, "I wasn't going to do what you did. I just rented a mini excavator and then just with a thumb and picked trees up and dropped them where I could cut them." And I mean, he was much smarter, younger guy than And he said, "Dude, it's so easy to do. It's so easy to operate. Just a couple of minutes." And he goes, he said, "I think within like an hour and a half, I was really comfortable moving and operating the bucket and everything at the same time." So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a ton of fun. Student of the Trees 63, how are you doing today? It is awesome to see you. Michigan, we have high winds, rain, and snow mix. No snow on the ground there. Are you in Lower Michigan or the UP? I'm curious because Jay and Jen went from having a boatload of snow on the ground to like in unless their videos were out of order to like almost none on the ground. It was crazy, but they had an ice storm too. Yeah, dig a pond, then have some drain tiles run near your cabin to the pond, and from your driveway, it'll be perfect. The only problem is if I put a pond in, then during the winter, it'll just be a skating rink. It will freeze all the way to the ground. That's something I just don't want to see. I can't now. I'm not gonna get that visualization out of my head here, Scott, of you in shorts and Crocs, and it's probably because of the Crocs. I'll be in flip flops and shorts and a light shirt. If it hits 40 degrees, I'll be sitting outside barbecuing, basking in the sun. Definitely. Karen, welcome. It is awesome to see you today. Great, great, great to have you. Ward, Ward. He's all, wait, what day is it? Anytime above freezing, I'm barefoot. I'm telling you, I love it, man. I love it. I am too. I'm barefoot as often as I can be. I just have to be careful. Like last year, I couldn't be running around the yard barefoot because I was doing all, building the shed, and I had nails and screws and everything everywhere. But I think I got it all pretty well cleaned up at the end of the year. We'll find out. My feet will find anything if it's out there. Yeah, Linda. I'm not wearing a bikini. I don't really care how many people want to see it. It's not happening. A one piece at the worst. Sarge, what's up, brother? You did. You get caught up in the live part. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, Student of the Trees is in the lower middle section. Yeah, that state, from the lower part of that state to the upper part of that state, I think can have every freaking season at once. You could have, you know, spring, summer, fall, winter. You could, it could be. That state is so weird the way that it works. My heater ward, what, the diesel one or the propane one? The propane one's just a buddy heater, and the diesel one is a. I have an app, so I'll just look at the app without going over and looking at it. Bouge RV diesel heater. Well, thanks, Sarge. Yeah, I think this. I don't know. I think Fridays will be fun. Because like I said, I get off of work. I'm just kind of planning what I'm going to do for the weekend. I'm not in a hurry. I don't. It doesn't matter what time I go to bed. I can stay up until 8:30 or 9 o'clock if I want. Right? Karen, awesome. 10 months she's been a channel member. Very cool. You've been a fan of the channel for a long time, Karen. I mean, since my early days, you've been following the channel. The plan is just to hold the roof of the groundwater away from your cabin and your driveway. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Nope. H Calorie is the one you have, I think, Rob. Mine's a Bouge RV. H Calorie was the one I was looking at getting. My neighbor just ordered one, so I'm going to see what it looks like. Todd, I'm going to see what his is like when it comes in. All right, that might be too much information. My entire homestead is being built barefoot and bare butt. What and is doing? I butchered that. I'm sure I did. But Louisiana, what are you doing? Can I keep the cold temp up there next year? Way too many cold days this year. I'll do my best. I'll do what I can, right? But if it was up to me, I would send my cold temperatures right now to everybody, to California first, so my kids can have some winter. But yeah, that I wouldn't have it here if I could avoid it. Word, it's Bouge, BOUGERV, Bougie. Russ said, I just got a diesel gas heater to test out. Still Chinese made, but built much stronger, and is a US based company. Very cool. Nice. Bouge RV, I think, is US based, but it's a Chinese diesel heater. I don't really think anybody in the States is making these heaters. They've used them over there forever. And they're great little heaters. I don't care where they're made. They're not as fuel efficient as most companies will lead you to believe, but I use mine. I probably get, I mean, I'm using less than a gallon of fuel a day. So, like, I'm at the point now where I'll go to bed with just, I'll have the wood stove going, the cabin will be warmed up. And then when it's time to go to bed, I'll turn on the buddy heater on its lowest setting. And then I'll go upstairs to go to bed. And then I'll wake up around midnight and it'll be a bit chilly. So then I'll reach over with the app and turn the Bouge RV heater on. And when I get up in the morning, it's comfortable. So, I'm only using it 5 hours, maybe 6 hours a day at most. But it works out awesome. And it's not super fuel efficient, but I'm lucky if I go through 4 gallons of diesel a week. Karen, the ladies are doing fantastic, and Molly is laying in front of the wood stove right now. Let's see if I can pick this up and show you guys where she's at. That's her spot whenever it's going. She likes getting all toasty warm, so she's laying by the wood stove right now. Oh, is that what it was? I missed it. What Nana is doing. Okay, very cool. See, I put all those words together and it confuses me. I'm a simple guy. Rob says, I have 2 and like the boat, not impressed with Wipro ones. Fuel pump died in a month. Told them about it and they never sent the parts, so no review for them. Yeah, and that's legit, man. That's definitely legit. My biggest complaint, and I understand why, it's because they're simple machines to begin with, is that the really affordable simple ones should somehow have a thermostat that you could set a temperature in your place that you're going to use it, and then it will turn it on and turn it off completely. Um, I think that what happens with most of them is they have a range of temperatures, and they'll go into like a standby mode, but they won't actually turn the machine off and then turn the machine back on again. So, and for me, that would be more efficient in certain ways, but I also understand that it could take up to 5 minutes for the diesel engine to fire up and be in full running mode from cold start. So it might be something in there. I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer. Karen, you want some more winter? I'll give it to you. It's all yours, Karen. Nice. Um, the only problem is there's plants all the way around there. The only problem is it's the ground. And so for those not aware with how this works up here, we have 4 seasons in Alaska, right? We have green up, we have brown up, we have freeze up, and we have break up. Those are our 4 seasons, and they're self-explanatory, right? Green up is when everything begins to go green and beautiful. All right, and then our summer hits, and I mean, in a week, we go from bare trees to beautiful green grass growing 5 feet tall. It's absolutely gorgeous. Brown up is when fall hits and all the leaves start to change and all the leaves fall off the tree and all the grass starts dying and everything else. Freeze up is when everything gets frozen, right? And then we have breakup. The problem is that the surface snow melts, and especially in a winter like this, well before the ground melts. So you'll have standing water for sometimes weeks and weeks on end, and it will just keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And then all of a sudden you'll come home and you'll look and there'll be no water. It'll all be gone because the ground finally opened up. So that's the biggest issue. Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, I hope you're going to do a review on that one. I hope so I can check it out. I'd love to see it. I still get a ton of companies that keep reaching out. Lately, it's been generators. Everybody wants to send me a generator now. Gas generators and inverter gas generators, and I'm like, I have one. I wouldn't mind having another one, but they want a turnaround for a video. So for those that don't understand how this works, when you have a YouTube channel and you do videos for companies, you make an agreement with them and you say, I will give you XYZ in a video. They say we want 1, 2, 3, and you say, okay, I could do 1 and 3, but I don't do 2. And then you negotiate back and forth, and then they say, well, can we have the video in 3 weeks? And for some outfits, like when I did the Vader batteries, that was not a problem because I was going to install that right away. But I have a company that reached out to me that wants me to do a telescoping ladder video for them. And I don't have a problem doing that. I've always been interested in one. I always wanted one. But I told them, I go, don't even contact me again until after March because I'm not putting a ladder up when there's still snow and ice on the ground. And they're, oh, that's right. You're in Alaska. No problem. But one of the generator companies wants me to do a turnaround video like in 21 days for the generator. Well, I won't use it that much because the sun, I don't need the power. So I probably won't work with them. So it's a game of, can I work with them? Do I actually need the product? Does the product actually make sense for me? Because I don't really like doing videos that are not specific to what I'm doing with my life. So I have a few criteria that I do. And in this case, the generator would be beautiful, but I couldn't give an honest opinion of working that generator out if I only had 3 weeks to do it, because I'm not going to use it enough to make that kind of a decision and that kind of an endorsement. Texas Butterfly, how are you doing? It is awesome to see you today as well. John, welcome, my friend. Hang on. The dog's under my arm. She wants love. Relax. Get off the keyboard. No. Get down. Where was I at here? Okay, there we go. John from Southern Wisconsin. Would you consider doing PVC hoops on your raised beds with plastic to start? I have thought about that because I've done that in the past. I might, depending on the crop. I might play around with that. I don't need to with potatoes because potatoes will grow anyway. I really don't think I need to with onions, but there are some other crops that down the road I may do that with to give them an early start and to grow them a little later in the season too. some greens. It'd be nice to have some fresh salad greens here at the cabin. Stuff that I could just walk out and pick. So I might look at doing that down the road. It's actually very inexpensive to use PVC, and I have plastic around here anyway, and it's super simple to do. I'm trying to blank on their channel name, but there's another family, a husband and wife couple that live on an island outside of Juneau or Ketchikan. And they do that in their garden every year to extend their growing season because they're on the water, so their temperatures are constantly cool. But when you use those little hoop houses, what you end up with is a lot warmer temperatures, and your soil warms up nice, and you can get early germination. So yes, I would love to use them. Sean, have you seen the wood stoves with the rocks caged around it? That would give you residual heat all night. I have. I love this stove. Don't get me wrong, but I probably need a more efficient wood stove, and that would go a long way. I also need to have some wood besides the spruce, the black spruce that I'm burning, because it burns really quick, really well, puts out a lot of heat for a short period of time. But I need birch because there's no coals left when I'm done burning the black spruce. I just end up with ash. So that's one of the reasons why the stove gets cold at night, and why I can't keep a fire going all night long. So there might be another wood stove in the future. We'll see. So I'll ask you about an aftermarket setup. To do that, I'll be ordering one for the next winter for the chicken coop. I saw that. Jay and Elaine had that at Alaska Freedom. He did that and sent me a link for it and everything. And I liked it, but again, it's a range, a temperature range, and it doesn't actually shut the unit off. It just kind of puts it like in an idle mode. And he liked it. He said it worked well for him for what they were doing. So I don't think that's going to happen with Molly. And what she's referring to here is that Rotties have the Rottweiler purr, where it's almost like they're growling, but they're not. It's like a purr. They're just rumbling. But the characteristics of her are more towards her mom, the Australian Shepherd in her. Her brother is just a super chunk, almost as big as Yukon, the dogs that are in this week's video. You'll see them. And she's still thin as a rail and long, and she has that same run as an Australian Shepherd will have, and a lot of mannerisms that an Aussie has, which is super, super cool. So no, she hasn't done the purr yet. She does bark at me and talk to me all the time. Scott's saying the diesel heaters aren't efficient or reliable if they are short cycled, so having a thermostat would turn it completely off, would require the cool down period and warm up period. That's what I was trying to go with. So you have that. When you shut it off, it takes 3 to 5 minutes to totally cool down. When you turn it back on, it takes 3 to 5 minutes for a cold start to totally back. So I don't know that it would ever work like that. We're talking about Lake Apache. It's going to be big this year. It's going to be epically big, especially since my neighbor, Al, when he put his driveway in, filled in part of that lake. So that water's got nowhere to go. It's going on the road. And luckily, my cabin is and Todd's place is quite a bit above the road, the entrance to Todd's place. So, yeah. It is, right? Hey, get your nose out of there. You don't need to chew that. Thank you. It is the warmest place in the cabin. I don't know if you can see it. I have like a camp chair over here. See if I can get my fat butt out of the way. Yeah, see the camp chair right there? So like when I'm having dinner tonight now, I'll just fold out the camp chair and sit at this table instead of sitting on the couch. Just kick back and relax. Yes, I wanted a gas-powered one as I have 100 gallons of bad gas that will work it. So I approached them. They sent it as well as a Comvolt power bank. Oh, nice. Very cool. Last time I went to town for supplies was the end of October. I'm good for several years, knowing that's afoot with agenda. I don't know about any of that. I don't get involved in any of that stuff, man. All I know is that I go to work every day, and I pay my bills, and I get a paycheck, and I put gas in my truck, and work allows me to do everything else I want to do. And I don't watch the news. I don't get involved in any of that stuff because I am not a happy person when I do. So I just ignore it all because there's nothing I can do to control it anyway. But I always am ready. You're going to get a dual fuel? Nice. My only issue with dual fuel generators is propane when a generator is a dual fuel generator, it puts out more watts on gas than it will ever put out on propane. Propane, it will never. So if it's a 4,000 watt generator, right? It'll put out 4,000 watts of power using gas, but you'll be lucky to get 3,500 watts of power out of that thing using propane. That said, it runs a long time on propane, and it's nice just to have a 5-gallon bottle of propane you can plug it into. There's nothing wrong with it. Just don't, and the energy is just as clean no matter what you run out of it. Just don't expect the same watts out of it. I don't know why that is either. I don't know enough about it, but I just know that's the way it works. Rob says, I'm very picky about what I take for reviews. I did the Pecron power bank video out soon and gifted that to Adam and Phyllis when you finish. Nice, very nice. And I have a lot of power bank companies. Pecron reached out to me as well. I have a bunch of companies. It's funny because we're like in the same genre and same fields, so we get a lot of the same offers that reach out. But I'm at a point now where I don't really use power stations anymore. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I turned these on, other than to just top off the batteries for my cameras and stuff. So I don't really want to do those reviews because I can't be honest with them anymore. I got solar panel reviews. They want to send me a 100-watt solar panel, and the smallest thing I have right now is 365 watts. It's a 100-watt panel is not going to do me anything, and I'm not going to run my cabin on it. So, I'm like you. I have to have a use for it, and since Adam and Phyllis needed it, it worked out well. Well, we learned you burn birch at night and spruce in the day to clean the coals back and forth. But I don't have any spruce. I have to get some spruce. There are no spruce trees anywhere near my property right now. So yeah, plenty of spruce, no birch. Yeah, so Karen's asking about the puppies that are in this week's video. So Yukon, the one that I'm yelling at all the time, because he loves to grab her by the neck, by the collar, and drag her around. He thinks she's a toy. Yukon is like her uncle. He's from the same line as her father. And then Blaze, which is the other small one, is her actual litter mate. That's her actual brother. Navy Dave, what's happening, my friend? Great to see you. Awesome to have you here today. Jim Raven Flintlock. Howdy, Sean. Just saw you live during my shift at work, so popping in. Very cool, my friend. Awesome to have you here. That's Ward. He's a go-getter, right? His wife tells him what he needs, and he goes and gets it for her. Yeah, I do need another generator. I think I'm going to go with the one company because they were really cool in the video that email that they sent me. And let me give you guys an example of what one of these emails sounds like, right? Pull up my email. I could just go back to the Sean in Alaska email. There we go. Although there's a battery company that reached out that is very, very cool too. So most of them started off with the same thing. Hi, Sean in Alaska. I'm Tina from blah, 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 blah. Generators, we do gas-powered equipment. Generators is one of our core product lines. We've been enjoying your farm/off-grid content, which means they don't really watch the channel. Fine. I don't have a problem with that. But they want me to try out their 4,400-watt gas generator for a hands-on review or integration into my content, whether it's working power tools, barn outbuilding work, lighting, or backup power for around the homestead. They also have a broader generator lineup, including higher power models I might find useful, and they're open to supporting any additional products I want. So they said basically, here's the one we want to push, but you can go take a look, and if there's something else, let me know, and maybe we'll do something with that. But here's what I like. No script required, just your honest experience and impressions. Let me know if this sounds like a good fit. So when I get an email like that, I'll go look. First of all, I'll go look at the. I'll say to myself, is this something that fits? If it is, then I'm going to go deeper and I'm going to say, okay, let's go look at their website, right? I want to see what their stuff looks like. So I go check out their website, see what they have available. I'll try and find some reviews on their company. I'll try to find some reviews on them. Um, because if I'm going to work with somebody once, hopefully I'm going to work with them again. Like Vader Battery and I have a really good working relationship. So what I liked about this was that 4,400 watt generator, 4,000 continuous and 4,400 watt peak. It's not a huge generator, but it's twice the size of the one that I have. It's an inverter generator, and it retails for less than $400. It was pretty incredible. I like the price. I like the reviews I read on it, so I'm probably going to do something with them. I'll probably contact them. But that, I'll get emails on, we saw your channel and really think that, we would work well together. We're high fashion. There's nothing about me that's high fashion. So, there's a lot of stuff. There's more stuff I turn down than stuff I even look at. But great idea again. Inverter Jenny is the best. Being off grid, you should have two of anything. I read a lot of military and special forces sci-fi stuff, and the mantra is always the same in all of them. Two is one and one is none. Because if it breaks, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, and that's where I'm at right now. Is I don't have other buildings that I would use the banks in, right? I'm going to run power to the shop because it doesn't make any sense not to, right? Because I'm only going to be working out there in the summer anyway. Too cold in the winter, I ain't going out there. So I just don't have. I like them, but I just don't have the use for them right now. They're going to be great when I start going fishing and camping, and on rivers and stuff like that. They'll be a ton of fun. Good to hear about the dual fuel gens. My plant just bought a yellow one, and I thought that might be a good one to pick up for home use. There's nothing wrong with them, but like I said, don't expect the same wattage when you're using propane as you get when you're running gasoline. What I just like on the review videos is they always want to send me a product I can't use, and when I suggest a product they make, they say we're not marketing those this time, and that happens a lot too. Scott's got a great point here. So, if this company reached out and they wanted me to do a weather station, right? But I'm not interested in a weather station at this time, but they had something else that I thought that will work out good for me. That's not what they're pushing. They're pushing a lot of times when you're dealing with these people, you're not dealing with the company, you're dealing with their representative. So they're scripted with what they want to move item A, then move item B, then move item C. When you're dealing directly with the company, you have a lot more leeway. Like me with Vader or batteries, I could send them an email tomorrow and say, hey, let's do some server rack batteries. And she'd say, okay, Sean, how many you want? Do you want the racks? What are we going to send? Because I'm dealing directly with them, but a lot of times we're not. And this is a great point. There's a lot of stuff that that I never thought about when I first started doing YouTube. Get a bigger power station you can run stuff off of instead of firing up the generator. Well, my goal is to have enough solar panels to cover myself for power in the winter. I'm going to get there. I may still have to occasionally run a generator, but I'm going to get there. Henry Leslie, Vermont, how are you doing, my friend? It is awesome to see you today. Glad you could pop in. I agree, right? 3 weeks is not enough to do a good review. And there's a lot of channels that I have watched in the past that if you're going to do an ad for a company, do an ad for a company. I don't have a problem with that because there's channels that I watch that, I'll give you an example. Woodness Goodness, right? Makes no qualms about the fact that this is an advertisement. Jay and Jen makes no qualms about the fact that this is an advertisement. I think Jay and Jen actually do a lot. I think Jay does a lot more due diligence on the electronic stuff than most people give him credit for. I think he really works it through the paces. He doesn't just speak a thing up. But then I watch these videos where everybody talks about they're the greatest things since sliced white toast, and I'm looking at that, and we've had ours for 6 weeks now, and it just and I'm like, there's not a speck of dust on that machine. You just took it out of the box. You haven't had that for 6 months. But yeah, I need enough time to actually, if you want my honest opinion, you got to give me the time to give it to you. Nice. Yeah, 10 kilowatts would be big. That would be big. But if I'm going to get something that big, right, it's got to be diesel. The first thing I did, Rob, when I went to look at their other generators was to see if they had any diesel ones. The Honda, I have the Honda 2000 inverter generator, a much bigger 6500 Champion for all my corded professional. Yeah, okay, so great example right here. I have the Honda 2200i. When I fire that thing up in winter to charge, to run through my battery charger to charge up my battery system, it puts a toll. You can hear it bog that thing down. What I really need is something bigger for that application. The 2200i is great if I'm just going to run like my chop saw by itself type of deal. But if you're going to run big, heavy equipment and multiple units at the same time of power tools, you're going to want a bigger generator. So look at all that. It's like building a solar system. You have to take all that into consideration. What Nana is doing, I got it right. Somebody show me. Welcome to this membership stuff. There's not a whole lot of perks, but when I upload the videos, like this week's video was uploaded yesterday afternoon when I got home from work, members can watch it right away, and then everybody else can watch it Friday at noon. So yeah, that's the one perk you're guaranteed. That and my undying affection and loyalty for you, and thankfulness for having you as a member. We're going to go a little bit longer today because I'm not in a big hurry. You guys can hang out if you want. Because I got a lot of great comments here, and I'm on a roll with this. I like the power banks. You can add more to. Some just a few small ones, but some like the Comvolt I can add. Yeah, right. So Bluetti has those. There's a bunch of EcoWorthy has those. There's a bunch of companies that have designed these systems now where you have like the master controller with a battery, and then you could you connect up to 4 or 5 more and build a system that'll run an entire house out of. Those are super cool. But again, for me, at this point, I don't know. Like you've got multiple buildings, so you're dealing with multiple locations. In your case, it would be a whole lot easier to run those than it would be to try and wire everything to a main battery system, right? So I mean, I get that completely. But for me, I just have the cabin, and I've got the shop, and eventually there might be couple other cabins on here, but they won't be, they'll be on there for the kids when they come up in the summer. So something like that is something I'm not into, but I would love to have them. It'd be very cool. I mean, in the winter it'd be nice just because I could say, okay, I'm not firing the generator up, for the next 3 weeks. I'm just going to plug this in. Henry Leslie, Vermont, welcome, my friend. Awesome to see you today. For those of you guys jumping in late and you're wondering what this knucklehead's doing on live on Friday, I've been toying with the idea of moving it off of Sundays because I have to go to bed at 7 o'clock Sunday night to get up to go to work on Monday morning. And then basically anything I'm working on for the weekend, I have to cut that project off at about 2 in the afternoon. I'm not the fastest guy in the world, as you guys have seen if you've watched my videos. So that usually means I didn't finish the project. And then I just have that short window from then until bedtime. And if I move it to Friday, I'm off for the next 2 days, and I'm not really doing any projects right now on Friday. So, I could stay up a little later and have some fun with you guys. That's kind of what I'm thinking of doing here. It'll probably be at 3 p.m. If the time doesn't work, let me know. If 4 is better, let me know. And that's Alaska time. I know on the East Coast right now it was 7. It's almost 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. on the East Coast right now. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Do be super careful, as many of those emails are Trojans that will end up with the YouTube channel takeover. Not mine. Trust me. This is not my first rodeo. When it comes to playing games like that, this is not my first rodeo. Oh, you have, Rob? You've run the generator 3 times in the past 3 weeks? I was shocked at how small it was. I really expected it to be much bigger than it was. I was shocked at how small it was. And I know it's still heavy, but I was like, man, that's a nice little unit. Scott says, I had 3 kilowatts of solar panels up before the windstorms took them out. I didn't get to 400 watts since. No direct sun. Oh, bummer. I'm making my power is absolutely crazy. I mean, right now this field is kind of done for the day. The sun's directly on these 2 panels over here, but I can't give you an honest view of how much power those are putting out because my batteries are all topped off. But I made 1.63 kilowatt hours today off of that one, and I'm at 600 or 530 watt hours off of these already today. And that one's putting out 8 amps, and this one's putting out 8 amps because my batteries are 100%. But I have mine in series, my panels. So I think that's what it is. Positive, negative, and then take the positive off of that one, the negative off of that one. I don't know if that's, I think that's series. And they're 365 watts each, and I've put out, but they're bifacial. I've put out well over 700 watts on those panels in direct sunlight. Never be monetized here. No corporation will ever send me anything because I share the hardest truths. Yet more importantly, I share the solutions, homesteading and building parallel societies. You know, you say that, but I there's some channels, and I'm trying to blank on him right now. I used to watch him all the time, and I haven't watched him in a long time. Well, I mean, you know, there's Rudy, the Alaska prepper. He does some pretty controversial things, says some pretty controversial things, and there's a lot of people that work with him. So you just find your niche, right? You'll just somebody will gel with your message, and you'd be amazed. You know. Ryan Tinder, welcome, my friend. Awesome to see you from Fresno, California. What's your temperature down there today, Ryan? My kids and my brother's in Copperopolis, and he said, "Dude, we're looking at 70s and 80s all week." Old School Alaska, welcome, my friend. It is great to see you today. Yeah, you've got a lot of batteries. You've got a lot of batteries. I've got, and I don't count. I've got what do I have? Maybe 15 kilowatts of battery power. And honestly, I have the 80 amp charger that I bought from Lifetime because Vader didn't have a big enough one at the time when I was looking for one, and I didn't want to go with 20 amp chargers when I had, you know, 3, 6, 9, 1200 amp hours. A 20 amp charger would take a long time to top that off. But yeah, my system charges up pretty good. But yeah, 220 would be nice. 220 would be nice. Oh, did you like that? Oh, they were delicious. Oh my gosh, they were so delicious. I'm like thinking to myself, what can I make now? What can I make this weekend? And then I have, for those joining late, I have next week off. I'm on vacation for a week. I'm staying home. Everybody's all, where are you going? Where are you going? I go, nowhere. I'm just staying home. Anchor. I'm a huge fan of the Anchor Power bricks, the little individual bricks. I've had one that I bought since I pitched the tent on the front of the property when I was falling trees. And I've had that thing now for what, 6 years? Still charges up, still keeps everything else charged. It's an awesome little gadget. Speak of the devil, it's Jay and Jen. Woot woot. I've been talking to you guys up like nobody's business, Jay. How much snow you got? How much ice you got? How much wind you got? And what are you expecting? Because it seems like every time I watch one of your videos lately, you and Jen are out there shivering. It's like friggin' wind chill and 9 below. If you guys don't follow Jay and Jen, you need to follow Jay and Jen because they don't quit. They don't quit. They just keep going. And they're honest as the day is long. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, 190 pounds. It was a tiny one, man. Bob Monster. I have a 1200 XP since August, and I almost ready to make a review. Basically makes it crap winter. Solar 3.4%. My rated 14 plus inverter blew up. Now I have to run Gen again. No. No. I hate when stuff like that happens. My biggest fear right now is having the inverter go. So I really need to buy another. I mean, I could get one from Todd across the street. He's got like 4 or 5. Speaking of which, the dogs are here. I'm going to let her out to play. Hang on, I'll be right back. Oh, let's go. I know. You're excited. I know. Go play. When they're here, they can all play together, and I don't have to worry about anything going wrong. They're not stupid. They get a little rough with each other, but they never hurt each other. But yeah, my biggest fear is losing my inverter because I don't have a backup. I need to back to that 2 is 1, 1 is none. Nice. Working on the Vader system as you speak. Very cool. Baseball starts. It's not. What are you talking about? Is it just spring training now still, right? Or is it regular season? You're a Boston's fan? I'm a Giants fan. Always have been. At least you're not a Dodgers fan. Welcome. How are you doing today? I caught you even on a Friday. We get you. Very cool. It's 77 degrees in Fresno, California. Crazy. Scotty! I was talking about him. Got 20 inches of snow. I just saw your post on Facebook, dude. You're getting 20 inches of snow coming Saturday. That is nuts. That is nuts. We're still colder than you. Yeah, so they didn't have, all they had was like a 20 amp and a 30 amp when I first got my system, and I was looking for a charger that was decent. So I just bought one from Lifetime, and it's a great charger. It really is. But yeah, if they'd have had that 70 amp, that's what I would have bought from Vaderer. Yeah, I can't say that. I'll tell you what my temperature is here right now. Oh wow, 25. So yeah, I'm 25 above right now. That's crazy. That's nice. Oh, you're off. Very cool. Yeah, usually you watch from work. Rob, thank you very much. Chef to Run Sean, if you have more things before the cabin, before dragging the wood, talk to you soon. I'll send a pic later of what I'm working on. Very cool. If you guys don't already, you need to follow Rob at Curmudgeon, Rob and Sarah. Great channel. Like I said, their life experience in Alaska is much different than my life experience in Alaska. It's very cool. John, those apple tarts need a little caramel. I love watching Jay and Jen. Very cool. Yeah, I thought about caramel, but I really thought about that thinly sliced sharp cheddar cheese, man. And I got to get some crystal sugar. So I grew up at a bakery, for those that don't know, and we used to top pies with a coarser ground crystal sugar, um, rather than just regular caster sugar, which is granulated sugar that I was using. But I need to find some so I can sprinkle it on top of pies and baked goods. Oh, cherry pies are my favorite pie. Is cherry pie. I absolutely love them. Jay said, lots of snow melted this week. A big storm might hit us hard. Videos are a little behind. Okay, yeah. I was saying, man, one video I watch, you're buried in snow. The next video I watch, it's an ice storm. It's freezing. And I'm like, holy smokes. Yeah, I need to, and I'm going to go bigger. I'm going to go with a bigger inverter. I have a 2200 pure sine wave now, but I'll probably go with a 3500 or a 4000, because it just doesn't make any sense to have. I don't use that much power, but it would be nice to have the ability to use that much power should I want to, right? That's kind of where I'm going with that. This is Scotty's channel, Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. If you guys are interested in grilling and you're not sure that you're good enough or that you know how to do it well enough, you watch Scotty's channel, and that man can make anything. It is amazing. Scotty made the biggest hot dog I've ever seen in my freaking life. It looked like a bologna. It was that big. But yeah, Scotty does all kinds of fun stuff, and he'll taste the food right in front of you too. There's no hidden camera work with that man. He just does it all. Yeah, right. I have two inverters that I was going to parallel. It's crazy, but it doesn't hurt, right? You have a backup. You have a backup. Scott, we're warmer than you. Nice. Yeah, well, I posted this morning that Scott and I had the same temperatures. I posted this morning that it was 17 below. Well, I was at work and he said, "Hey, we have the same temperature." But that was after I had already gotten to work. That was still not in the temperatures. It's always colder out here. It's always colder out here in the winter and warmer out here in the summer. Finding an inverter that makes over 12% in clouds is almost impossible. I had four making 1.2, 3.148, and then one made 14 to 24%. Same brand NHX. Yeah, my biggest thing is I'm not an all-in-one guy, so I don't want inverter, charger, charge controller all in one. And it's I can get away with that because I don't use that much power. The reason why I don't want it is because those things eat a lot of power just to keep themselves running on a regular basis. And I know that from late October until what was it, mid-February, I'm not generating any power. I already know that. I mean, I might be able to get some if I can get my panels up higher over on the field side. But yeah, right now I'm not going to be able to make it worth my while. Navy Dave, bear in mind, the bigger the inverter, the more idle standby power it uses, something to be aware of. Exactly. It can be a lot. And if, I mean, when you're talking about efficiency on an inverter, if you're making 85%, if you've got 85% efficiency, you're losing 15% of your power, right? Yeah, see? The 1200 XP or 12,000 XP eats 130 watts. And then for you guys not into solar, this is just I mean basically um, my TV, I've got a 55-inch monitor right here now because I watch movies and I like shows, science fiction shows, and epic. I'm gonna buy a surround sound for the cabin, a cheap one because I want that laser sci-fi stuff. This when it's not running, when it's off, draws 20 watts of power. Okay, when it's on, it draws 40 watts of power. Right now, that's on. This is on. Both of my power stations, both my breaker boxes here are on, and I'm drawing 140 watts of power. Well, 140 watts of power on a 12-volt system calculates into roughly 14 amps of power. So when you start doing this, you start getting this stuff going in your head, and you look at every single thing. I saw that, Ryan. I'm jealous, man. 77 I could do. 80s, no. Bluey Bog, thinking about SunGold charger inverter when I go to 48 volt. Is eco-worthy made by SunGold? They do look the same. Jay and Jen. Jay would be able to answer this for you because Jay, I think, has both. I think he has the SunGold charger inverter, and I think he's got an eco-worthy too. So Jay of Jay and Jen Off Grid would be the guy definitely to reach out to for this question. Scotty loves his Jackery. They've been around for a while. Oh, John's running a 3,000 watt inverter with a 92% efficiency. Very awesome. I really don't know what the efficiency is on mine. When I bought it, I didn't really pay attention to that. I just was looking at the name GL, which is a pretty decent name for inverters, and the cost was right where I wanted it to be, and the size was perfect. Renee's lost. You'll learn. Guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. We've gone about 10 minutes more than my normal hour, but I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up for me. I hope you had a fantastic week. If you haven't had a chance to do so, check out this week's video. There's been a couple of comments about the apple tarts. They're not really tarts, but they're like mini fold-over apple pies. They were absolutely delicious. I'm still working around with the microphone. Apparently, a couple of times where you have a lot of music in this video is because Sean hit the button wrong and turned the mic off. But I'm toying with the idea that I think we're going to do this on Fridays now going forward. And it just makes it a little bit easier for me, and hopefully it'll work out for you guys as well. With that said, I am Sean in Alaska. Have yourself a fantastic week. As always, thank you for the constant support, for the comments on the videos, for watching, for putting up with this knucklehead, for the suggestions, because Lord knows I need every one I can get. And have yourself a wonderful weekend. We shall talk to you later. I will see you. Bye. Last couple of comments. Wish I was in Alaska now. Sick of it here. Want to make it to Willow. Fridays, 1.5 hours. Good week. That's it. We're all set. Talk to you guys later. Bye. I gotta go check on the dog.